Hey, so this is part 2 of the liver and gallbladder cleanse, or they call it a flush video. This is going to be for Patreons only. And I had to cut that other video off all of a sudden abruptly because someone came into my home. So here's what's very interesting to me. I'm going to share a little bit about my history and I did ultrasounds for 24 years, and in 2015 I found regenerative detoxification. I started detoxing at the cellular level. I waited a while before I did any solid food vacations like a juice cleanse. In 2016 I had a guy staying with me, and I was very intrigued by his very on point food combining. And then he was going to start a 3-day lemon juice cleanse, or they call it the master cleanse, but no cayenne. We didn't put any cayenne in there. So I did that for 3 days, and I was blown away with what I passed one of the days. And then after that, I guess it was the end of 16, maybe it was 2017, I found what was called the Master Fast. And that's pasteurized grape juice and fresh lemons. You juice 2 lemons in a quart jar. We strain them. And then you fill the jar up with Concord grape juice. I was shooting for 40 days. Well, if I could just get to 21 days, and then I would do 5 days and fall off. Then I did 6 days and broke it. Then I did 7 days, and then another 7 days, and 11 days. And then I've completed a 40-day. A profound learning experience. Had lots of kidney and pancreas healing events. I was sitting in a little personal steam sauna a lot. It's a whole system, this Master Fast protocol. Lots of herbs, enemas, this stuff called GI mix is what I call it, or they may call it plasma pudding, but I never did let it sit long enough to turn into pudding. Spent clay, activated charcoal, and psyllium husk. And after that, in the fall of 2017, I started a cold pressed 100% solid food vacation. And I started it on November 17th. I ended up going 122 days. It was mostly apple, lemon, ginger. And then sometimes I'd put jalapeno in there, a lot of times. And sometimes I'd put celery in there, but I saw that I had to work myself off the celery. A lot of cellulose in that. And anyway, I would just wake up with, more mucus. Anyway, so yeah. Well, after that, I did, it was like in December, and I went through to January of 2018, 2019. I started another solid food vacation, all cold pressed juice, 100%. And I went 33 days. A friend of mine came in town, and she brought her mother. Her mother had a great, big, huge, swollen, didn't know what it was. That's what she wanted, to slip in, the back door of a place that I had access to and do an ultrasound. So we did that. And then after we were done with her, ended up being a lymph node. And I pretty much figured it was going to be, because you have them all over. You've got 9 on each side that, they've given them names. And so we'd have to ultrasound them on a regular basis. Some doctors are really into getting paid too. So they would look at those things every 6 months or every year. And there'd be no change in them. They'd just be hard and localized and nothing going on. And no tenderness from the person. Okay. Anyway, after we were done with her, she's like, "You want to look around? Anything you want to look at?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's just take a quick scan of everything." I was Not sure if I was NPO right then, but if I wasn't, I mean, I was still just on liquids, juices, you know. So I don't remember what time of the day it was. I think it was afternoon. I don't know. Anyway, so we looked at my pancreas and kidneys, and anyway, and we looked at my bladder, and we looked at my gallbladder, and she's like, wow, Candy, you have sludge in your gallbladder. And I was like, what? Wow. She decubed me, laid me up on my left lateral side, you know, and yeah, it was sludge. And I was like, let me come back in the morning, and I'll come NPO and see if it's gone. And anyway, it pretty much was, and the next day. And I was like, wow, we just caught the body doing something. We're not even supposed to be looking. That's exactly what came to me straight away. Sludge in the gallbladder a lot of times is incidental finding. When they do a CT, a CAT scan of the abdomen pelvis, maybe they see some low level echoes in the gallbladder, and they'll send them for an ultrasound to see exactly what is it. Yep, it's sludge. And then they'll say, okay, well, let's follow up in 6 months and see if it's still there. And it wouldn't be. I know someone very close to me actually that happened. They had a abdominal CT, you know, and they saw something in the gallbladder, and which they ought to be able to tell on a CAT scan if it had any shadowing from it. You know, if it was just low level echoes, it's just going to look like that. It's just going to look gray. You know, stones always have a black line from underneath them. It's called shadowing, you know, because of the density of the stone, and then the sound waves go around it and it casts a shadow. And then the stones, you know, typically always move too. You can decube the person, roll them up on their left side, and they'll roll down to the fundus of the gallbladder, the dependent portion at that point in time. Anyway, I never had any pain, tenderness, any nausea and vomiting at all, right? Of course not. And a lot of people don't when they have sludge in their gallbladder, but yeah, you know, to kind of wrap this up, gentle detoxification, it takes a while to reach homeostasis and to cleanse and strengthen miles and miles of cells and the two fluids, you know, that are around all of these cells. They say we roughly made up of 100 trillion cells. They change it, you know, it's like 70 to 80,000, just whatever. Just call it that. 70 to 80,000. It's an unraveling process, and I simply want to ask, why would we want to put something in that is the exact cause of gallbladder issues? You know, you talk to people who've had their gallbladder taken out, they all react the same. And you know, if that's what the gallbladder is supposed to do, is break down the fat that we eat, you know, why? I don't know. It simply, I do not advise it at all. Strongly recommend do not ever doing one of these. Cooked refined oils, even extra virgin olive oil, it is rancid. It's way far better to eat the olive. Yeah, refined oils are endocrine disruptors. They're neurotoxic to the body. So let's say if you've done, you know, over 50 of these things, what I feel, in my opinion, and hey, if you want to look at this as like a theory rant, that's cool. I love to let a lot of things just kind of hover over here and you know, in contemplation. Yeah, lost my train of thought. Anyway, that's not a bit important. Simply, why would you put in the very cause of the issue? Oh, I know what I was going to say. And if you've done over 50 of these and the body is not getting over that in 24 hours, I can assure you. So you keep doing them and you keep doing them, and you've held on to some of this toxicity, and the body is going to want to release these toxins. And sometimes that can look like a neurological event. So like a seizure or a stroke. You know, anytime someone's had a stroke, we need to think, well, what was the cause? Why did this happen? It's always what I do, is think, why? Why did this happen? What was the cause? What caused it? If someone, I'm going to make a separate video of what to do for neurological events, for say something that looks like a seizure or hurt jerks, you know, those kind of things. These are all toxins leaving the body, or even a stroke. That is definitely a neurological event. You know, if you've ever looked at anyone, look at their eyes after they've smoked flour, a lot of times their eyes are heavy, right? They look stoned. Their eyes can't even open up all the way. That's because it's affected the nervous system. It's a neurological event. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you, guys.